guys, Austin with the Quack Shack podcast. We're here in Austin, Texas at the Come and Smoke It event. Let's go see what Brendan and Harlem Road Barbecue are cooking up today. Cooking up here today, boys.
Today we got our Terrace Major beef with a little bit of seaweed salad on top, and it came from Chef R from Harlem Road, Texas BBQ.
Nice.
Beef is from Creekstone.
Creekstone beef, yes.
Creekstone.
That's what we're working with right there.
Check that out, guys. Sweet. Let's get a little taste test in here.
Ooh.
Look at that, dude.
God damn.
Tender, baby.
Hey, that's normally the cut right there that the butchers keep for themselves.
Man, you can't beat it. Harlem Road Barbecue in Richmond,
Texas.
Richmond, Texas. Go check them out. Check out my boy Brendan Lamb here. Welcome back to another episode of the Quack Shack podcast and the first ever Quack Shack Tour presented by Mallard Bay, episode 1. I didn't tell our guest that, I don't think. But we're here in Austin, Texas at Windy City Park for the Come and Smoke It Festival. Bunch of great music, great barbecue, and most importantly, Brendan Lamb. Come on in, dog. What's up?
Yeah, my man. How you doing, brother?
Good.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thanks for coming.
So this is your second time on the podcast.
Yeah. The first time we ran through at that was the Wild Turkey Federation deal in Nashville.
Yeah, NWTF show, Nashville.
Yeah.
They invited me down. I guess they invited you down.
Yeah.
And we met for the first time. We learned a lot about you on that podcast, and we only had a little bit of time to do it. And today we're focusing on the cooking side of you. But one day I'm going to get you on, and we're going to do a Joe Rogan style podcast with Brendan Lamb because you have an interesting story.
It's I've just done a lot of stuff at the wall and seen what sticked and stuck. And here we are. I mean, I'm on barbecue right now.
Yeah.
I'm always going to be on barbecue.
And it's phenomenal. If you're not following Brendan Lamb on Instagram, Facebook, everything,
yeah,
I think you should go do it. Especially if you like to eat, if you like to cook. So a little backstory on Brendan Lamb. If you haven't listened to his episode on the Quack Shack podcast, season 4. We had him on and we talked a little bit about your past and all the things you've done. Like I said earlier, you've done all kinds of stuff. But if you're looking at your Instagram, you are a BBQ king because it's all barbecue. And I know just based off knowing you, I know you're very passionate about barbecue. And as of today, I know you just talking. You're helping out your buddy from
Harlem Road, Texas BBQ.
Harlem Road, Texas
Chef
BBQ.
Ara, man.
Chef Ara. He's a super cool dude.
Most interesting man in barbecue. The dude makes his own cigars. I
didn't know that.
Yeah, has his own whiskey, does his own coffee. He's got his own herd of Akashi Wagyu beef.
Wow.
That's all sorts of crazy stuff.
Wow. So that's crazy.
Yeah.
I knew based off of our last conversation, you were very involved in the barbecue game because you like you said, you went to Norway.
Yep.
And you taught how to make Texas barbecue to the Norwegians. How many people do you know that have done that? I don't. You're the first one.
Yeah. I mean,
that's insane.
None of my other peers that I know of have got to do it either. Some of them have got to go to Australia. I know there's one of them went to Switzerland, which was cool. But
that's cool.
I mean, Norway is kind of the first. I'm excited to go back. We're supposed to go back and do a tour this summer. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That'll be fun. That first time I'm hearing that. That's awesome. I'm super excited for you to do that. Before we dive into it, I need to get a drink.
Me too, please.
I just spit out a dip of snuff. So we're gonna get some all hands here.
Yes, sir. These are actually really, really awesome. They have there's first off, they're 10% alcohol. So
10%.
Yeah,
you gotta watch yourself.
There's 2 drinks in a can, so be careful. But a lot of the times whenever you're getting these vodka sodas and stuff, they're really over sugary and they're over carbonated, all sorts of. And this is very much like you just mixed something here at your house.
Yeah, 2 shots per can, 10% alcohol, very tasty. Let's do a cheers real quick for the first ever Quack Shack Tour presented by Mallard Bay. I'm super excited. You were the very first guest because
me too, brother.
We've met. I really enjoyed talking to you in Nashville, like we kind of talked about earlier. And I never really thought about us doing anything again besides another podcast.
Yeah.
But when Mallard Bay was like, "Hey, we need Brendan Lamb on the podcast for the tour," I was like, let's do it.
It's easy.
I really liked hanging out with that dude. So,
yeah, no, me and you kind of bounce off each other pretty easy. I like it. I like the conversation, man. You're cool
no
guy.
doubt. So let's dive into the barbecue game.
Yep.
Let's give it a little bit of backstory. I know we talked about it last time, but we have with us partnering with Mallard Bay for this tour. We have a new audience as well, on top of the people that we already have listening, which we're very thankful for. But what's a little backstory on Brendan Lamb?
Well, I was
as far as the barbecue side.
Gotcha. There's a lot.
Yeah. He's a very interesting person. So
I've always been kind of the fire poker guy. I've always been, the guy. My mom yelled at me, "Get away from the fire," when we were camping a lot growing up. So,
of course,
yeah, it has naturally turned into whenever somebody was doing a barbecue or throwing on some burgers, I was always the guy that tended the fire.
Okay.
Somehow that happened.
Yeah.
Which I'm happy with it. I guess I volunteered.
You learned.
Yeah. So living in Los Angeles, came back to Texas, and while I was in Texas, my stepmom was like, "Hey, I know you're going back to Los Angeles. If you want to start training up at this barbecue restaurant, you can run your own branch in Los Angeles."
Wow.
So I was in Austin at the place called La Barbecue. Amazing barbecue.
Yeah.
And I was there for like 4 years. It never ended up happening with the Los Angeles thing, so I kind of just busted out on my own. And from there, based off of all the people I met when I was out at La Barbecue, and in the industry thereafter, we've become a bunch of really cool friends. I go around teaching barbecue classes with all these different peers I have. So we do collaboration classes, we do collaboration menus, pop-ups, and then I get to travel all over the world teaching people how we do it here in Texas.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's like the gist of my story right now. It's coming into like podcasts and all that other stuff too.
Yeah.
With being able to spread, I like to call it spreading the barbecue gospel.
Oh, so that's a good that's a good title if you ever wanted to use that. But so you talked about Texas barbecue specifically.
Yep. So
I'm from Texas, so I know Texas barbecue is almost a religion.
Oh, dude, yes.
It's very hardcore on, like, if you're from Tennessee, Memphis barbecue is the thing. If you're from Texas barbecue is the thing, right?
Yeah.
And I assume it's everywhere. I haven't traveled to California like you do.
Yeah.
I have, but I assume they have their concept of it. I'm sure the East Coast has their concept of it, but why is Texas barbecue? Like, what makes Texas barbecue? If there's one thing we can all relate on, we all like to listen to music. And there's only one way to truly do that: Turtle Box. You can take it to the swamp, you can take it to the beach, you can take it to your friend's house. No matter where you're at, Turtle Box is always going to be there, loud, durable, waterproof. Go check them out, turtlebox.com, or check them out on Instagram. Get yourself a Turtle Box.
Everybody else, for the most part, besides, maybe Kansas City, was scared of the beef. So
So what they were doing pork?
Yeah, everything's pork.
Yeah.
For the most part, around the world, most people do pork or just parts of beef.
There's not a lot of Jews in Kansas then.
I don't think so. I don't know. I've been up there. But it pretty much turns out Texas, beef is king. Brisket is king. Nobody. That is really what we've kind of centered our whole cuisine around. Is doing these big chunks of meat.
Okay.
In a lot of places, or the rest of the world, they cook big chunks of meat too. But for some reason, it's not the brisket. It's not the pork spare ribs. It's not the the handcrafted sausage. But Texas barbecue wasn't always what it is now. Now Texas barbecue is Central Texas barbecue. Okay. So there was what I grew up on, which was like West Texas normal like pit barbecue. You can still get down in Lockhart or anywhere in Lubbock or Amarillo or any of that. You can still get this old pit barbecue that's cooked for 20 hours, dried out a little bit, all that. Need a bunch of sauce on it. But that's what I grew up with. Yeah. So my first time when I came here to Austin and had that La Barbecue slice of fatty brisket for the first time, I was like, what is this? Yeah, people have been lying to me my whole life, man. So I went.
But just dry brisket.
Yeah. So that's really what separates Texas from everywhere else. Plus, whenever I'm in Norway, I'm in Chicago, I'm in Oregon, they're not asking how to recreate Carolina style barbecue. They're not asking. So everywhere else that I go wants to learn how to do Texas style barbecue. And that's why they're bringing us out. Is 'cause,
I got you.
But I mean, that's really, Texas is king when it comes to barbecue. Everywhere else likes to try and say that.
Yeah.
But I mean, you don't, like I said, you don't have people in Norway having, you know, some Carolina barbecue come out there and teach them. So
don't hear about that.
Yeah, it's the Texas style that everybody's after.
Yeah.
So that's kind of with it. Like, we are the standard, I feel like.
So when it comes to Texas barbecue, being a Texan, like I said, I feel like I know what your answer is going to be. But being from Texas and Texas barbecue being at the top tier of barbecue, if there is one piece of meat, what's it going to be?
Brisket.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah, all day.
So
all day.
What makes the brisket so important to Texas barbecue?
What's up, guys? This is Jackson with the Quack Shack podcast. Today we're going to talk to y'all about the high and dry Tortuga bag and the high and dry utility pole. You're not going to find a more durable and waterproof bag on the market. This thing's got 5 pockets, all kinds of compartments. It's so lightweight that you're not even going to notice it's on your back. Then we got the utility pole, which is one of my favorite things that's come out, because we like to hunt marsh, we like to hunt swamp. We never know what we're hunting. Right here, you can go all the way up with this thing right here. And there's absolutely nothing better, because you can hang your gun, you can hang your tote, you can hang your bag. If you're tired of getting your shells wet, put them right here. You're tired of getting your bag wet, put it right here. You're tired of getting your gun wet, put it right here. All kinds of things you can hang from this right here. Keep it completely dry when you're in a situation you don't have a tree or you don't have a stump, something you can keep your stuff dry on. Check them out at High and Dry on Instagram or highanddry.com.
It's really the history, and kind of we've just stuck with it. We're creatures of habit. So
of course,
it started off by being the cut of meat that was the cheap cut that nobody used besides for stews and whatnot.
Yeah.
So we had, the laborers and stuff on the ranches that ended up getting the cuts of meat that weren't as desirable by the ranchers.
Yeah.
They had to come up with ways on how to cook it.
Okay.
So brisket was one of those main ones that's really fibery, real long fibers, real big chunk of meat. It's hard to cook and make it nice and soft. So,
and if I think you might know the answer, but if for someone who's not really involved into the barbecue scene, if you take it back that far to the ranchers and stuff, that brisket will feed quite a bit of people.
Oh yeah, you can feed 15 people with a brisket.
Yeah.
I mean,
so if you think about it, back in the day, on or even till this day, I know some guys that go out for several weeks at a time and do herd cattle from A to B.
Yeah.
And you set up shop and cook, and beans is always going to be
ranch beans
are going to be a thing for those guys. But like brisket, you got 15, 20 people out there, or less, I don't know. It's going to feed the whole crowd, one brisket,
Yeah,
what I mean?
for the most part. I mean, if you're out there doing the Chisholm Trail or something and hauling cattle up into Canada, if you kill one cow, you're going to have 2 briskets.
Exactly.
So that's going to feed everybody, plus leftovers for some, pocket jerky or whatever for later on.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, it's just something they smoked for a really long time, and it probably wasn't always, as juicy and everything that it is now.
Of course.
But it lasted a long time, and it was a good source of protein, and it wasn't just straight up beef jerky,
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, in Texas, brisket is always the mainstay. But now, since we've got this more like a chefy influence coming in with the Austin barbecue scene,
which I love, because seeing some of these guys out here, like your buddy, like when he was putting that how'd you say it?
It's Terrace
Major.
Yeah,
and then putting seaweed on top. I was like, I was thinking to myself, I was like, never seen that before. Yeah. And I, never met the dude in my life. I walked around, I was like, filled him in on like what I know about barbecue, which isn't nothing compared to these guys. But
we live it.
He was like, he has like a big background in culinary arts, as well as barbecue and Michelin. He worked for a Michelin star restaurant.
Wolfgang Puck. He worked for Wolfgang Puck. Yeah,
I know what Wolfgang Puck is, and I'm not even a big foodie.
Yeah, world renowned, Switzerland.
And so, I guess that's the Austin barbecue scene, adding a little bit of spritz to it, which don't get me wrong, I love.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was amazing.
Well, whenever I started barbecue in, I think it was 2015 professionally, at Love Barbecue in Austin, everybody was still doing the meat market style.
Yeah.
There wasn't, I think there was maybe 1 or 2 places that were taking the, quote unquote, elevated barbecue. So taking the meat market style, just the meats, and taking it to the next level.
Yeah.
By adding, seaweed on top or whatever. So that really just started in the Central Texas thing because Austin is such like a culinary driven town as it is.
Of course.
And then it's the Mecca, the Mecca of barbecue by far for Texas. And I'd even say for the world, but that's just the Texas in me, So Austin has always had like a really rich culinary background.
Yeah.
So then it was just natural for this. By the time everybody got tired of the rinse and repeat 30 barbecue restaurants.
Everybody's got the same brisket
and they're all about the same quality too because they're all keeping up with each other. They're all mixing chefs together. They're all having jumping from sous chefs, from pit guys to pit guys coming from different places. So all the meats this much different with just flavor profiles. It's all pretty much perfect.
Exactly.
So now that's just in Austin. If you go anywhere else in the nation, you're not going to have that kind of barbecue mecca. You're going to have 1 or 2 places that are putting out good brisket. Everybody else is putting off old school barbecue.
I mean, it's just Mexican food's the same way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You go to New York, you're not going to expect to have good Mexican food.
No, you're not. No. But you better have some good seafood.
You might have some good seafood or something.
What's up, guys? This is Jackson with the Quack Shack Podcast. I just want to take a second to talk to y'all about Apex Ammunition's Tungsten Super Shot. Man, it's the best thing that we've ever encountered in the waterfowl industry as far as shotgun shells goes. No jams, no wounded birds. Pretty much everything you could ask for in a shell. If you're looking at getting into waterfowl or you are a waterfowler, you have to have Apex in your bag.
I feel like barbecue, and you probably know the answer to this, but I feel like no matter what state you go to, there's going to be barbecue, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be that style of barbecue, or maybe
Texas style.
Or Texas style.
They're always trying to do
Texas style, right?
Yeah.
There's Texas style, and then there's Texas style.
Well, that's what I was trying to say a minute ago, is that everybody is trying to emulate Texas barbecue outside of Texas.
Praise God.
They're not trying to emulate. You've got in Charleston, South Carolina, you got Lewis Barbecue, which is there's a big old mural on the wall that says "Beef is King," and that's like an homage to nothing but Texas.
Of course. Right?
Yeah. Because it is in Texas. Beef is king. We cook pork, yes. We cook chicken, yes. We cook turkey, yes.
Yeah.
But you got to be able to cook that big old beef rib. You got to be able to cook those briskets. You got to be able to, all the stuff.
You got to think about it, and I don't want to, we got a lot of listeners on this podcast, and I don't want to downgrade your steak.
No, not at all.
And your cattle.
No.
But I've traveled a lot to different states and stuff like that, and a few years ago I was in Idaho, right?
Yeah.
And I think, to me, that's the closest place to Texas as far as the way they their politics,
I get
the way they act, all that stuff, right? But you got to think about it. I've been to certain states where they still think we're riding fucking horses down.
Yeah, no, and that's a lot.
Know what I mean?
Yeah, when I lived in California, everybody's like, "So, how many horses you got?"
Yeah. I've never owned one.
Yeah, I don't have one. I don't know. My mom's got one. I don't.
So when you think about it, when you think about that part of Texas before the barbecue even comes into play, if people are in 2023, 2022 are still thinking that everybody in Texas is a cowboy or a rancher, right?
Yeah.
Well, if we're cowboys and ranchers, then that must mean we have cattle.
Yep.
And if we have cattle, we know how to cook them, right?
Yeah.
So
I see what you're getting at.
you see that? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That puts us at the top of the list, right? Because I know Montana, that's real big time right now. They've got, with what's that show?
The Yellowstone.
Yellowstone.
Yeah.
They're real big into Montana right now and cowboys and everybody. I feel like every part of America has a cowboy scene, right?
Yeah, it does. It's funny. The funny part about going back to the beef and Texas doing it the best. Most of the beef that we get in Texas is not even from Texas.
Exactly.
So most of the.
Listen, there's one thing that's really going to help protect your gear out in the swamp or the marsh or wherever you're at. If you spend a ton of money on duck calls or spend a ton of money on guns, there's one thing that's really going to help you. The lanyard's gonna help you keep your duck calls from falling in the water. We've all seen that guy. We've all seen the call drop in the water. Don't be that guy. VPC lanyards can hook you up with multiple different varieties of lanyards, colors, you name it, as well as your strap for your gun. You can even get matching ones like I did. You don't have to, but there's one thing you need to do is go to VPC Lanyards on Instagram or Facebook and protect your gear with the best lanyards in the game. VPC Lanyards, go check them out. So where were we?
We were talking about the brisket in Texas.
Okay.
Well, I mean, so really what it comes down to is we in Texas, that we're mainly about brisket is where it starts. That's like if you come to a Texas barbecue restaurant, you're gonna have to have brisket, you know, or a brisket sandwich, or a brisket on a baked potato, or something brisket style.
Something brisket.
Yeah, and that's because in Texas we're all about the cattle, the beef.
The beef.
But we're getting most of our beef from out of the state. Unless it's like the Wagyu or one of the small things, because you know, Creekstone Farms, they're sponsoring over here today, but they're in Kansas.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So the people that that you knew about, but I introduced you to them, Hassel Cattle.
Duck.
They raise their cattle in Texas, and then they feed them out in like Montana or something.
Oh yeah.
So they're fed out up there, then they get butchered, then they get brought back to Texas. So like, I guess a lot of things go into play to make a really good barbecue. No matter if it's Wagyu or a Wagyu mix or just a straight up beef Angus cow, right? Yeah. So that's insane. There's a lot that goes into barbecue.
Yeah, it's mostly time. It's time and patience. I mean,
so you're a pretty patient fella.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I am.
It's hard sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I got young kids, so I'm working on it.
So that kind of sums up your life in barbecue. Like I said earlier, we talked about kind of, I mentioned that you have a very broad background, which you do, and like I said, we're going to get you on again where we'll just sit down, me and you.
We'll talk about all the stuff.
And talk about some cool shit.
Yeah.
So we've got obviously, we're doing this tour with Mallard Bay, and you're partnering up with Mallard Bay as well.
Absolutely. Dude.
What do you have planned for that?
So Mallard Bay and I, we have kind of come to the conclusion that we are very, very mutually beneficial in what we do.
Absolutely.
So there is, for instance, they threw a thing with Country Outdoor called Live in the Blind.
Absolutely.
And it was in Missouri. So I got Steele, Missouri. So went out there, took my smoker, cooked a bunch of duck, and as well as beef ribs and pork belly and brisket. We did the whole thing.
Yeah.
And all the guests they had come out, we, fed them and everything. So they're paying. So really what we're doing with Mallard Bay is I'm going to be coming up with these different recipes and whatnot.
Wild game.
Of wild games. So you at home are going to be able to cook what you shoot that season. So now we're in turkey season right now. So I've got dropping here very shortly. We got some turkey recipes that are going to be direct heat and indirect smoke, or different recipes. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, and we're going to go all the way from the harvest to the butchering to the actual preparing and cooking.
That's it.
So we're going to go all the way through and take you through the steps, and we'll have a few different times where we'll actually shoot episodes to where we're going to do the whole harvest and everything.
Oh wow!
But as of right now,
awesome.
As of right now, it's going to be recipes plus me doing a video to walk you through the recipes.
To walk you how-to video on how to cook a turkey, a duck, or whatever.
Yeah, we get around to white.
How to make it right, like Brendan Lamb.
Yeah, the right way. I mean, so there's more than one way to skin a cat, but I'm gonna tell you how I do it.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. So that's awesome, man. Yeah. That's awesome.
I'm super excited, man. The Mallard Bay guys are awesome.
We love those guys, and we met through Mallard Bay. Yeah. And we got approached where we talked a little bit about what we could do with Mallard Bay. I had no intentions on this of the tour, and listen, guys, Hybrid Boat makes a super durable boat. Whether you're taking it out in the timber or down in the marsh, it doesn't matter. Hybrid Boat is built for you because they're custom made. Go check out Hybrid Boats on Instagram at Hybrid Boat Co. or on the website at hybridboatco.com. Get you a custom made boat. That's the only way to go. quite honestly, I had something totally different in mind. And when we were down there, they kind of talked about some stuff and matched what I thought, and it worked out. And we met in Nashville the same trip, and it's super cool that we're both getting to work with the same company, and because I really like you a lot.
I like you
and
too.
I don't tell everybody that. And I think what it is, is I have a cousin I was telling you about that lives in Austin. He's a super tatted up dude, cool guy that I looked up to as a young kid. Like I was telling you, y'all kind of relate in a way.
That's cool.
Different backgrounds, but y'all kind of relate, and I think that's why I kind of like you.
The tattoo thing, right?
No,
I'm playing.
no, just the way your demeanor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I really like you, and I'm glad that you're getting to work with Mallard Bay. We're getting to work with Mallard Bay.
Yeah, me too.
And
big time. I mean,
do all kinds of stuff.
Like since I was 8 years old, I've been hunting, and then I've been since about 8 years old poking up fires and stuff. So like
it kind of works together.
Yeah, I mean, I worked in restaurants for the longest time as a busboy, as a food runner, as a cook, the whole stuff before I did my own thing. And then I've also worked in Los Angeles to where I did all the entertainment stuff.
Exactly.
So now it's all kind of marrying together.
Yeah.
And then we're able to get my real love, which is if I could make a living off of hunting every single day and not do any of this stuff, like
you figure it out, let me know.
Yeah, we're working on it. So now we're going to get to marry that in, and then get to hang out with some cool guys and do all the stuff together. So it's not just one guy sitting in a blind hunting and showing you what's going on.
Exactly.
We got a party going on with it, and it's relatable.
Exactly.
So that's the coolest part about it is that we're bringing a community together and not just showing something that's rinse and repeat that everybody's done before. We're actually showing that a community comes together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so, like, you kind of told us somewhat of a testimony. You grew up hunting, you grew up cooking, and then you did the whole LA side of it, and you got to now you're getting to bring it all together with the cooking side, with the your appearance. You've appeared in all kinds of different stuff.
Yeah.
You've got the recording background, the filming background. You're getting to mix those together. I love to. Me and Jackson, which couldn't make it today. He loves to hunt. I love to hunt.
Yep.
We both love doing this podcast, and now we're getting to do it all together through Mallard Bay. So we kind of have that same relation. I'm very thankful for them.
Me too.
I'm very thankful for them for introducing us, and we're not that far apart. But I have something for you.
Oh, no way, man.
So on this tour, we're trying to gift. We're trying to give back a little bit, and we kind of talked about it. But each episode we go to, I'll kind of want to give the guest a little gift.
Yeah.
So
thank you, man. I really appreciate it. This is all hands.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. Thank you, all hands, for that. You can thank all hands for that.
Thank you all.
But I have a little something to give to you. I have it right here, and it's some fresh duck meat.
Yes.
That we killed this past year.
My man. Dude, thank you.
So it's just a little bit, but we're not that far apart, so we'll get together and make some meat. But yeah, so that's that.
Dude, thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I will show you exactly what I do with this when I get home.
Absolutely. I'm excited, and I'm super thankful to, we first planned me coming to Fort Worth.
Yeah.
To do this podcast, and you're like, well, I got this event, and I called my connect over there at Mallard Bay, and I told them about it, and they were like, Go. And I was like, let's go. Because I don't come to Austin very often.
Yeah, no, guys like Wes do.
I am a good old East Texas boy, and I love Austin. I have family from Austin, like I told you about, and it's beautiful. I mean, look at Lake Travis. It's super low right now, but it's still beautiful. We had Healy Media earlier with a drone in the air, and if you didn't know where you were, you would think it was like a beach somewhere. It was absolutely beautiful from the sky.
Dude, this is so cool.
And Austin, Austin has its thing, and it's got its food scene, it's got its night scene, it's got its music scene, and now with a lot of people from California moving here, including like Joe Rogan, which is absolutely cool.
Amazing.
We got the comedy scene. So there's a lot of stuff moving to Texas, including the stuff that's been here that is making it super cool here in Austin.
Yeah.
So I was like, dude, you saying okay? I'm going. Like, right?
Come on.
I love coming to Austin and seeing family and doing cool stuff and talking to guys like you, especially at this event with some good food and some cool people, man.
Yeah, dude, these events, most of these events that I come to, a lot of them are down in Central Texas.
Yeah.
So, like, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff like this. My mom lives in Central Texas. They got 50 acres out here, and it's overran with hogs.
Oh, wow.
So let's go shoot some hogs.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
We'll do it.
Yeah.
We'll do it. So I can't thank you enough for hopping on another episode of the Quack Shack
Anytime,
podcast.
man. Thank you for having me.
Presented by Mallard Bay. We're on tour. First episode, dude. This is so exciting.
Thank you, Mallard Bay. Y'all are awesome.
This is so exciting. I'm super thankful for that, and super cool talking to you.
You too, my man. If y'all haven't checked out Mallard Bay yet, y'all go to mallardbay.com and go check out all the different outfitters that they have sign up on their website.
Yeah.
It's Airbnb of hunting outfitters. They're awesome.
Absolutely. You want to hunt elk in Montana or ducks in Arkansas or fish in Florida or fish in Louisiana, they're the people to go book through.
Yeah.
So go check them out. And go check out my boy here, Brendan Lamb. Tell them what, I mean, you've been on here before, but fill them in where they can find you at.
You can find my podcast. I talk to a bunch of barbecue guys. It's called the Blam Show. You can find it anywhere that podcasts are found, including YouTube. You can find me on Instagram at Brendan_Lamb, Pitco Pass. You can find me at Smiley's BBQ. I got a lot of stuff going on, but
got a lot going on.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in the long form convo.
Yeah.
But yeah, y'all follow me on on Instagram at Brendan_Lamb.
And be sure to go follow Mallard Bay.
Absolutely.
And go to their website and check it out because he's going to be dropping different monthly
recipes. Yeah.
Monthly recipes on wild game. So if you're a turkey hunter, a deer hunter, hog hunter, I assume all kinds of different stuff.
Yeah, we're doing it all.
He's going to teach you his way of cooking it, and you have your way, right? You have, as a listener, you have your way,
and
but
it's fine.
It's always cool to check out something different, right?
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You've been all over the world cooking different stuff, right? Different animals, different types of style of cooking barbecue, and you've learned a little bit about everything as far as cooking. So I feel like the listeners at home, backyard barbecue warriors, cook their turkey at home, cook their duck at home.
Yeah.
You know, my favorite way to cook duck, because I'm a big duck hunter, obviously, Quack Shack podcast.
Surprise.
Wrap that sucker in a jalapeno with some cream cheese and some bacon. That's my favorite. And my son's favorite, accidentally, I cooked, I had a few extra breasts left over.
Yeah.
I kind of cut them just barely across. What would you call that? If you get a breast and you just finely cut it.
Oh, score it.
Score it.
Yeah.
Threw some seasoning on there, flipped it a couple of times, medium rare on there. He, a 4-year-old, ate that. And I'm not no chef by any means.
No, nice, man.
But he loved it. So there's all
kinds. Anything.
They're all, yeah. Thanks. I mean, golly. I thought he ate it because Dad cooked it. Good God.
But it's hard to get a 4-year-old to eat anything.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't get mine to eat nothing.
Okay. Well, yeah, y'all go check out my boy Brendan Lamb. Y'all go check out Mallard Bay. Go check us out on YouTube at the Quack Shack Podcast.
Like and subscribe. And hit the notification bell so you know when we're releasing a new episode. Follow us on Instagram at the Quack Shack Podcast. Also, Healy Media, HELE. Follow them. He's super kind to come out here and help us film for this event. Go check him out on Instagram. We really appreciate him. Thanks, brother.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Quack Shack Podcast Tour presented by Mallard Bay. Peace out.
Thanks, brother.